Welcome to the workshop. Today we have put this 1990s Fender Blues DeVille 4x10 guitar amplifier combo back onto the workbench. In part 1 of this series, I had asked the question, what's your diagnosis? Let's see if you were correct. First, I would like to mention a viewer who goes by the name Splinter Girl. Here is the comment that he posted in response to some of the topics that I had covered in the last video presentation. This gentleman is a mechanical engineer by trade. We actually had an in-depth conversation on the phone. He had recently worked on a very similar amplifier. He gave me some advice from the experience that he had restoring his Fender Hot Rod DeVille. He even provided me with an incredibly detailed parts list. I cannot thank him enough for contacting me. He is an impressively articulate and well-spoken person. I told him that he should be making video presentations of his own. I hope that we all hear more from this gentleman in the future. A viewer who goes by the name JJ Sant 3250 wrote, while both output tubes are conducting DC, the right one is not receiving a signal to its grid. Could be a bad wire or coupler capacitor, or issue with the phase inverter. The basis for this assessment comes from this video segment. This assessment is further supported by this video segment. A viewer named Jim Amsden wrote, I have seen those screen resistors burn out in a Blues Junior too. I suspect something happens with the tubes that causes excessive current that burns out resistors. Jim is referring to this video sequence. I have seen this happen on several Blues Juniors as well, Jim. This has been going on for more than 30 years, but Fender has still not made any improvements to their designs. A viewer who goes by the name Evil Homer 1973 wrote, 1995. Also, are you using AI for the voiceover? Well, Evil Homer, all that I have to say is that inside every man is a struggle between good and evil that cannot be resolved. A viewer named Wayne Graham wrote, Mendito, what causes blocking distortion in a guitar amplifier? How can you fix blocking distortion problems in guitar amps? Hey, Mendito, you think you're so smart? Answer me this. I feel like we are hanging out at the music store in Bensonhurst back in the 80s. Wayne's questions are not really contextual to the problems with this Fender Blues DeVille, but I answered all of Wayne's questions. After all, I am the tube amplifier masochist of Brooklyn. Dr. Twang 6147 also replied to one of Wayne's questions, writing, Cap job, genius. I am grateful for the engagement. Thank you to all of my viewers who left comments. Let's get right into revealing the problem with this amplifier. First, we need to remove the tubes and unscrew the rear circuit board that the tube sockets are mounted to. Next, we are going to check the plate voltage at pin 1 and pin 6 of the phase splitter tube. Pin 1, the plate of the first triode, it has power. Let's check pin 6, the plate of the second triode. Pin 6 does not have power. Let's take a closer look at this phase splitter tube socket and the surrounding components. This is pin number 6. Let's trace back to what feeds power to pin 6. This leads us to resistor number 52. This is a 100 kilo ohm resistor. This is the plate load resistor. Let's test the voltage feeding this plate load resistor. There is voltage feeding the resistor, but there is no voltage at the other end. This is our problem right here. Now we are going to mark the solder joints on the circuit board that we need to desolder. We are going to desolder the resistor from the pads on the circuit board and then pull the resistor out from the top. This failed resistor came out of the circuit board without any problems. Now we are going to install a 1 watt, 100 kilo ohm carbon film resistor that I have already tested for accuracy with my multimeter. It is very important that you always test your components before installing them into a circuit. Now I am going to clean these two solder joints with 99% isopropyl alcohol. I will blow them dry and then inspect them closely to make certain that we have good quality solder joints. The only safe way to test the amplifier is to reassemble everything. So let's get to it. This should have solved all of our problems, right? Well, keep watching, because fixing old amplifiers is always an adventure. I'm still thinking about the AI comment from the opening segment. I've even had several people who know me in real life asking me if I'm using AI. I am using my academic voice here, people. We are making professional video presentations in this workshop. I have also had several people ask me why I am not speaking live on video while I am working. A real professional concentrates exclusively on the complex task that is in front of them. This amplifier does not belong to me. Out of respect for our customer, I am giving their device my undivided attention. The raw video files serve to document the work that was actually performed. Let's turn this amplifier on and see what happens. There is a noticeable hum now. It was not there before we changed the failed plate load resistor. I am confident that it is not directly related to changing that resistor, but maybe something happened when I flipped over the tube socket circuit board. A ground connection may have broken or become detached. I need to look more closely inside the chassis. For now, we are going to test this amplifier out to see if both power tubes are amplifying sound. It sounds much better. Let's hook up an oscilloscope and tone generator so that we can take a look at the output waveform. Success! We have a nice, smooth, and even sinusoidal waveform. Okay, it seems like we have repaired the original problem. Now we need to figure out what is causing this hum. And I am also hearing a bit of an odd sizzling sound. So let's investigate. I decided to take a break, so I unplugged the amplifier and the ground pin fell off of the plug onto the floor. I think that this is the cause of our new ground hum problem. So now we are going to replace the power cord. Cord as in C-O-R-D, not C-H-O-R-D. Alright, now that I have changed the power cable, it is time to bring out everyone's favorite diagnostic tool. We have found the source of the sizzling sound that I was hearing earlier. This tube sounds very microphonic, but that sizzling sound may also indicate a problem with the tube socket, so let's check that out. I try to always put on gloves when I pull out tubes. They are glass after all, and sometimes they surprise you. Let's take a really close look at this tube socket. Nothing looks or feels broken or bent out of shape. There are no signs of corrosion. Let's take a look at the solder joints on the circuit board. All of the solder joints look good. Nothing is broken or loose. Here is a profile view of the tube socket. Everything looks fine. Let's install a new tube and see if that solves the problem. I guess all of that sizzling and crackling was actually the tube itself. Both of these preamplifier tubes are slightly microphonic, and they seem to have loose internal components. We are going to need to change these as well. All of these tubes that I am using right now are JJ-ECC83S. They were manufactured before the war in Ukraine and before the pandemic. There is something kind of loose and rattling around in there, and that is just not going to last very long in a 4x10 combo cabinet. Okay, let's quickly check the bias of these old JJ6L6GC power tubes again. The tube on the left is very weak. This amplifier has a non-adjustable fixed bias circuit. These Tungsol 6L6GC STR tubes are biased perfectly. When I spoke with my viewer, Splinter Girl, he had suggested that I take a close look at this main circuit board to inspect for burned traces or components, particularly around the operational amplifiers that drive the reverb and effects loop. I was able to get a good look at the board without removing it from the chassis. This brings us to the conclusion of our video presentation. Thank you very much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or comments about this amplifier project, please leave a comment below or send us an email. If you have any instruments or amplifiers that need repair, send us an email or give us a call at the store. We will release more video presentations just like this one very soon.